number one, you've written here that the myth is that you need your own cash to invest. Now, a lot of people do believe, of course, what do you mean? Of course I need my own cash to invest. How else am I going to invest in property, Olivia? Of course I need my own cash. What do you mean by that?
Okay, so there's a term called equity, which could be used for both investors and brand new people who haven't bought a house ever before. So let's just say you're, 25 years of age, and you might have a parent who has equity within a home. They could gift you that equity within a house that they potentially have without them being too much risk to them. So that could be literally your cash deposit for the next property.
All right, hang on. Let's break that apart a little bit, right? So basically what you're saying is the bank of mum and dad, right? Now I'm gonna be the antagonist with all these kind of things just to make sure we tease it. So you're basically saying bank of mum and dad. So a lot of people are going to be sitting here saying, well, that's pretty privileged, isn't it?
Yes.
All right. So if you're lucky enough to have parents who managed to get into the property market and they've got equity, we'll circle back on that because I think it's a worthwhile avenue to discuss. But basically, if your parents do have a property, they've got equity in their property, you're talking about taking their equity to buy your house. What do you mean by that? How does that play out?
Okay, cool. So let's just say, for example, mum and dad own a house and it's worth $800,000 and they have a $500,000 mortgage still left on it. So which means they have an equity position of potentially $300,000. But the bank, we're not asking for all of that. We're just asking for a small percentage. And the way that a broker can set that up is like they withdraw that as the cash funds for the deposits and all of the costs that you need to get your foot in the door for the first one.
Yep. So basically they would extend their mortgage. Let's call it $100,000. Let's say you need $100,000 to get your first property. They would extend their mortgage by $100,000. They would get cash out, right? So they'd take cash out of that equity and then they'd gift you the cash, basically.
Yes, correct. Yeah. So that's one way. I literally have a client at the moment, Sammy, who's doing exactly this. He's 20 years of age and his dad's just like, yep, give you the equity. And then what happens is when the value, and let's just say Sammy in this scenario, then buys his first investment property, goes up in value by $100,000, he can then release that $100,000 back to his parents a few years later when it goes up.
Yeah. And so a little personal story as well from my side. That's actually how Gabby and I got started. Because when Gabby and I got started, we had no money. Like we were broke. Like we had no money. And in fact, it took us 2 goes. So the first property we tried to buy, the first property we bought, which was the dud, it was the wrong property, wrong place, wrong time. It was an off the plan apartment in Melbourne, right as the market was going down. We borrowed some money off some of our family members for that. Then that was a dud. Then we worked out how to invest properly, and then we went to go buy our first proper investment property that worked well. And again, we went to family for that. And the way we structured it wasn't just, can you give us a gift and then we'll give it back to you. We said, okay, let's do this in real commercial terms. Let's set this up as a loan. So we said to our family members, we're not asking for a handout, right? What we're asking for is a hand up. And so can we structure some kind of like private finance kind of deal where on paper, yes, they're gifting us the money because that's obviously from a financing structure perspective, you want to receive it as a gift because then it's the source of funds. But we've paid all of that back to them with interest, right? And so therefore it's commercial. So you don't have to go to your parents and just be like, oh, please, cap in hand, can I please have some money? Thanks. You can say, no, I'm an adult. I'll stand on my own 2 feet, but I'm short on capital. Now, I'm going to give you more airtime on this in a second, but that actually points to another way as well, right? So this whole idea that you need your own cash to invest isn't necessarily true. Now, you may be in a